U.S. President Donald Trump announced that the leaders of Israel and Lebanon will hold their first-ever conversation in 34 years on Thursday, marking a significant development in the region's complex web of politics. This historic meeting is seen as a potential breakthrough in bridging the gap between the two countries, which have been embroiled in tensions over issues such as borders, security, and economic cooperation. The announcement comes at a time when regional dynamics are shifting, with the U.S. seeking to reassert its influence in the Middle East. The Israeli-Lebanese dialogue is also closely watched by neighboring countries, including Syria and Iran, which have their own interests in the region's politics. Looking ahead, this meeting will be closely followed for signs of progress on key issues, as well as potential implications for regional stability and U.S. policy in the Middle East. A delegation of U.S. and Iranian officials met in Islamabad, Pakistan's capital, for the third round of talks aimed at reviving a landmark nuclear agreement. The meeting, facilitated by Pakistani mediators, is seen as a significant step towards resolving long-standing differences over Iran's nuclear program. Background discussions have centered on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA), which was abandoned in 2019 due to disagreements between the U.S. and Iran. Pakistan's involvement is believed to have helped build trust among the parties, with Pakistani sources indicating a major breakthrough has been reached on key issues. The talks are also expected to address concerns over Iran's ballistic missile program. Looking ahead, the success of these negotiations will be crucial in determining whether a new agreement can be reached that addresses both countries' security concerns and promotes regional stability. A heated exchange erupted between Democratic lawmakers and U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm at a hearing on Capitol Hill, as tensions over Iran's nuclear program and rising gas prices came to a head. The confrontation began when Representative Ro Khanna of California pressed Granholm on her views regarding an Israeli-led military strike against Iranian nuclear facilities, with the secretary seemingly out of touch with the concerns of ordinary Americans. Granholm's response was met with incredulity from the Democratic delegation, who saw her comments as dismissive and detached from reality. The exchange highlighted a deepening divide between the administration's hawkish stance on Iran and the more dovish views held by many Democrats. As lawmakers continue to grill Granholm over her handling of these issues, it remains to be seen whether she can navigate this treacherous terrain without further alienating her party. Looking ahead, the outcome of this showdown will likely have significant implications for the Biden administration's foreign policy agenda and its ability to pass key legislation on energy and climate issues. A former U.S. Marine pilot, Daniel Duggan, has lost his appeal against extradition from Australia to face charges related to allegedly training the Chinese military in South Africa. The charges stem from a 2022 arrest, where Duggan was accused of violating Australian laws by providing military training to individuals linked to the People's Liberation Army. Duggan's case raises questions about the intersection of national security and international relations. As a former U.S. Marine pilot, Duggan's expertise and connections could be seen as a potential threat to Australia's interests in the region. The extradition decision highlights the complexities of global cooperation and the challenges of balancing individual freedoms with national security concerns. Looking ahead, this case may set a precedent for future extradition requests related to alleged foreign intelligence activities, potentially straining diplomatic relations between countries. Donald Trump has threatened to fire Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell if he doesn't step down by May, marking a significant escalation in their long-standing feud. The tension between the two has been building for months, with Trump repeatedly criticizing Powell's handling of interest rates and monetary policy. Trump's latest threat comes as Powell is set to complete his second term as Fed chair in June, and some analysts believe he may be seen as a target by the outgoing administration. This development raises concerns about the stability of the Fed and the potential for a power struggle between Trump and the central bank. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how this latest development will play out, but one thing is clear: the future of the Fed and its leadership will be closely watched in the coming weeks as Powell's term draws to a close. Ticketmaster-owner Live Nation has been found liable for running a monopoly that overcharged fans and provided poor customer service. In a landmark case, a jury ruled that the company's practices had resulted in artificially inflated ticket prices and subpar experiences for concertgoers. The lawsuit alleged that Live Nation's dominance in the ticketing market allowed it to engage in anti-competitive behavior, squeezing out smaller competitors and limiting consumer choice. This verdict is significant, as it holds one of the largest entertainment companies accountable for its actions. Looking ahead, fans can expect increased scrutiny on the ticketing industry, with some lawmakers already calling for reforms to prevent similar monopolies from forming in the future.